Welcome to this week's Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm Curtis Smith. We're here with Joe Holdridge, who grows irises in Albuquerque. And Joe, you're going to tell us a little bit about how to divide iris.
Curtis, I'll be happy to tell you my little knowledge about dividing iris. I'm not a professional iris grower, but they're one of the most beautiful flowers you can grow in your yard, and they're for the early month of May. There's nothing like. I have about 20 different colors of iris, and we really enjoy them, along with our winter pansies that are still in the raised bed here in our backyard.
They pick up about the time the spring bulbs have finished blooming. The pansies are still blooming. The irises come into full glory about that time.
They're one of the first flowers to bloom that's not a pansy or a tulip or a narcissus or a hyacinth. But every few years you have to divide your iris. They get you can see that these have grown very, very tall.
Yes.
You know.
A little bit of shady garden, they're doing very well.
A little shady garden, and they're doing very well. I divided most of my iris last year, but I left about a 8-foot section that I didn't, and I think we can go through this morning and show how I divide the iris and what we need to do about every second or third year when they start getting to look like these look.
Okay, well, step by step, what do you do?
Well, the first thing you do is dig out your iris, and here's a clump that I've dug out that's probably going to turn out to be about six iris when we get through. We need to just clean out the old dead leaves and get the dirt off a little so we can see what we've got here. Curtis, I like to cut up and clean them up before we start to divide them, so we can really kind of see what we've got and how many we're going to end up with when we get through here.
You don't have all these leaves flopping
around. So we
around
don't have all these leaves. There's quite a bit of dirt on here. We can shake most of this dirt off. Most of the time they'll just naturally divide by yourself. I have
This one just fell off.
That one just fell off, and that one's perfect. All we'll need to do on that one is trim it a little bit, and it's ready to be replanted. We just break them off from the main tuber, and now that's a perfect new plant. Here's another one. We can make this one, and there's another new plant. We've got one more here, and there's another new plant. This one it will throw away.
Well, Joe, I see you've got a second clump ready to be divided now. You've cut the leaves back, but you left the old blossom stalk. This is not going to bloom again, is it? That's
not going to bloom again, and that's one of the main reasons we're dividing these iris, because a lot of people don't realize that this old blossom stalk has served its day, and it's not going to bloom again.
And this old rhizome here,
and that old rhizome is not any good. So we're going to break off these new rhizomes from the old one that has bloomed, and then we're going to discard this one. We're going to discard this because that's done.
So we're done with this. You finished. You've taken off all the others. This is through. Not going to bloom again.
Throw it away.
Well, Joe, once you've divided your iris or gone to the sale and bought the rhizomes, it's time to do something with them. You can save them for a little while, but you don't want to save them too long or they'll just dry out. So you've got to get them planted. And I see you've already got an area prepared. Soil's loosened. You've added organic matter. Using compost or peat moss is okay. You don't want to use manure because that could damage the bulbs. You don't want a lot of nitrogen, but it's a good idea to add some superphosphate because that stimulates better flowering and good root development.
Yeah, iris don't require a real rich soil. They'll grow almost anywhere.
They love us here.
They love us here.
But the organic matter is a good thing.
The organic matter, it makes it hold the moisture a little better. The secret to planting iris is not to plant them too deep.
And that's where a lot of people make a mistake.
Let's put one in the ground and show people how we do it.
Let's do that, Joe.
Curtis, most people plant their iris too deep, so we're not going to plant it. We just want the soil to barely cover this iris. Most people, what you also probably want to do is to plant your iris in a cluster of about 3. And
that's pointing in a different direction.
All pointing in a different direction, and that's what we'll do here. Is we'll just plant our iris in a cluster of 3, and then we'll cover them up with and kind of what I do is put the dirt on them. Get a little dirt all around them, and then just kind of, I usually step up and then just kind of put my foot on them to press them in a little bit with my foot like that. And that's plenty of dirt for an iris.
Looks like pretty rough treatment here.
It looks like pretty rough treatment, but iris are pretty healthy plants. Next spring, those will come out, and I think we'll have some nice iris. The first year after you separate them, the blooms will be a little skimpy, so it takes them about 2 years to recover.